First of all, Maisy, just thank you so much for chatting to us today. How are you and how's the recovery been since Saturday?
Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you. It's been pretty chill day yesterday. Just went for a walk and then with a few of the girls, grabbed a coffee, and then this morning we've had training, review, and a gym session, so getting moving again, which is quite nice.
And just before we go into this season, can you just quickly tell us a little bit kind of how your journey's got to where you are playing for your rugby journey's got to where you are playing for Exeter Chiefs now?
Well, it's started a little while ago. So around eight, played for the local rugby club at home, then did club, county, C of E, TDG, and then went to Gloucester for college, Hartpury, and then was there for 2 years and got a few runouts with Gloucester. And then when I came to uni, I moved down to Exeter, and that's how I got involved with the Chiefs.
Perfect. Now, obviously, the season so far has been brilliant for yourself personally, and also for the Chiefs. And you kind of made yourself undroppable in this league season. So, just how much have you enjoyed playing for Exeter this season? First of all, in the cup and also in the Premier 15s.
Thank you very much. It's been like really good. I think last season I was in and out a lot with um I played some of the cup, which was really valuable for me, and then I was in and out doing a bit of sevens work, and then I didn't quite sort of have that full buy into the season. I feel like some of the girls have, but this season we've definitely had a really good start to it. And then again with the cup, it's just always an opportunity, and we're always told to like look at it in that way as well. So that's the best thing. And then being selected, especially like for the last few weeks with the Sarries game this weekend, is just massive, and I'm so excited. I just love it.
And obviously, how important is it to kind of get that win against Harris? Obviously, you didn't feature in the final last season, but it was kind of a bit gutting for the Chiefs. But how important is it to get that win and show that you can beat them? Obviously, you beat them quite a lot before in the league, but not got just past that over the line.
Yeah, I think there was something from I like you said, I didn't play it, but something within the girls that really wanted to beat them this time. Um, they've never beaten us at home, which was sort of like a big point for us to focus on, as that was sort of like they haven't so far, so they're not going to start now. And then just for sort of like the to make our mark in the new year as well, and to try and carry on how we did for the end of last year, was just like we need to get this win and make make home make home a like really solid place for us.
Mhm. And obviously, personally, really high up in the try scoring rankings. I think you're second in the Premier 15s with 8, and you scored 4 in the cup as well. So 12 for the season. It's not bad for a flanker, is it?
Yeah, well, I'm not really sure I've done that. I think I've done more this season than I did the whole last season. No, it's pretty much just 1 yard dashes, pick and goes, to be honest with you. But no, it's always nice to score tries, but how we get the points on the board doesn't really matter. But it's nice, always nice to celebrate.
You're not getting any stick from the backs for getting finishing off all their tries for them.
Well, I was talking to Claude McDonald this morning actually, and said, I would have been, if that try this weekend went the other way, I think I'd have been reminded for the rest of my life that one of the best wingers is stood outside me. So fortunately, I got it down.
And obviously, Susie being the coach at Exeter, did you have any runnings with her while she was at Gloucester, or did you just it just purely when she came to Exeter?
It was like really, really brief. So I think I probably went, it was either a trial day or like a first training session for my first year in college, and she was there, and we had like a brief conversation. And I remember her saying then, "Oh, when you finish, let me, share my email and we'll have a conversation." And then so it wasn't really until I came down to Exeter, but it was coming nearing the end of the Gloucester season, and I got a message from her sort of with the invite, and I went down for a few sessions and sort of to have a feel of it, because you never want to go anywhere without knowing how it really is. But no, got a feel of it and loved it, so decided to move.
Just how important is kind of her influence and her coaching influence onto the exercise? Kind of a varied team, obviously, so many internationals, but a lot of young players like yourself, people like Nancy McGillivray in the backs as well. So how important is her influence on that?
She's massive. I think the like thing Susie brings the most is the energy. I know that's sort of classic, but she is like her passion is like it literally feeds us, and she always talks about it, and Steve does it as well, but like how much it means to play for Chiefs, like what the club is and like what they want to try and build. So that's really good. And then on pitch as well, she's just so it's weird because Chiefs is like a very structured team. Like we play a lot of shape, and all the teams will know that, but there's also room to just play within that. So she encourages us to, when we need to play how we need to, but then also just be rugby players, which is really nice as well.
And I kind of mentioned it briefly there, but like the kind of young talents mixed with all the internationals. So how nice is it for players like you to play with people like Kate Zachary, Rachel Johnson, who've got so much international experience, and when you're kind of at the start of your rugby career?
Yeah, it's massive. I think I felt that like hugely at the beginning of last season when I first came down, and then obviously I played a few games at Gloss, but nothing really. And then like coming and just being guided by them almost, and anything they say, you're sort of like, oh my God, yeah, okay. And then obviously now I feel like we all have different areas of the game where like we're really strong at. So obviously Kate's amazing on the ball, like Rach is so strong and through contact and all of that. So it's just things you pick up and then you learn to sort of take pieces from each of them that you want to bring into your game, which is like, and because there's so many of them, you get an opportunity to take it from loads of them.
And also, is it kind of about learning kind of knowledge of the world? Obviously, they're coming from all sorts of places, America, Italy, Australia, New Zealand. Just how important is it to have different experiences, different cultures as well?
Oh, it's massive. I think every time we sit down and have a meal after training, we always take the mick out of someone's accent or the way they say something. So it brings a lot of fun to it, but also you learn how other teams work as well. Because our one of our new Aussies, she came over and sort of said how when you integrate into a team over there, how it was sort of a really different feel to over here. So it's sort of also just learning how, different people do it and how you can bring that, or how you think actually no, we're all right how we are. So it's all just different ideas everyone can chip in with.
And obviously, at the top of the Premier 15s, yourself, Gloucester as well. So, how nice is it kind of someone who was at Gloucester and at Hartpury had a big experience with that to have two West Country teams battling out at the top of the Premier 15s, kind of disrupting what it was being Saracens and Quins for so many years?
It's really nice. I think everyone knew the league was going to look a bit differently this year, with all the different signings that Gloucester had and sort of how the end of last season sort of finished. So it's really cool to have that battle with them. Personally, for me a little bit as well because I was there, but then also Susie was there, and then there's lots of crossover. But it's just nice to have change and like different experiences with games. It's almost like you don't know what's coming anymore. This season it was sort of like okay, they used to do it like this, but this is what could be coming. So it's just nice to have that different challenge and it not just being those top two.
Yeah, and you mentioned that kind of how hostile it is and how tough it is to come to Sandy Park and beat Exeter. So how do you kind of manage about that going on the pitch and making sure it's such a fortress
Or I
without
don't
revealing
know.
too many secrets?
No, it's not like we talk about it like in the build up to the week, and like sort of there's the build up of it being a home game. It's our place and we want to play. And then there's a massive part about the support as well, because we got 2,000 plus fans last weekend, and that was just absolutely immense. And you actually like you do feel the energy off them, and it just means a lot. So we play for our fans, absolutely, and then it's just like the home comforts, isn't it? You get your own changing room, you get to experience the pitch on a Thursday night for team run. You sort of get used to it, and that always helps. And when we know we've got that slight advantage over a team, it gives us that little bit more confidence going into a game, I think.
And you mentioned your brief kind of experience in sevens last year. Just how did you find that, and how have you brought that into your game in Chiefs this season?
Yeah, sevens, it was quite a weird one. I wasn't expecting it. And then, if you see the way I play and how I sort of am, I'm not really a typical sevens player. So it was a bit of a surprise, but I absolutely loved it. I think the skills you've got to use for sevens are just like absolute core skills that get multiplied by 1,000 because there's 7 of you on the pitch and that is so much bigger, everything's so much sort of faster. So being able to just lock down some skills. Well, I'd say passing, but I think my first pass of the weekend went to the floor, so I don't think that was the best one. But things like that really help. And then it's just a different feel of a team as well, being away for 4 or 5 days a week and then going away, and it's just nice to feel different how different people like do stuff. And then again, the travel was really cool with that as well.
How did you get into that sevens last year? Obviously, you said you had quite a few weeks away with it, but how did you get into it?
Well, I think when it was still GB, the last time before it went to England, there was a conversation. I think I went to one GB camp pre-Christmas, so whenever that was, 2021 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I got a bit of a taste for it, and then it went back to England sevens. So then they lost a lot of players, and then so they were bringing up a lot of new people. Like you've got your Lauren Torleys and you races and stuff like that. So, you know, you get that sort of experience going in, and then I sort of settled down a little bit and then got called in, kept getting called in for the season. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Just running around.
And obviously, you missed the game against the Chiefs game against Sale a couple of weeks ago with England 20s camp. So, how obviously you captained them against Scotland last season. So, first of all, how was that experience kind of captaining and showing a bit of leadership? And also, what are the hopes for the under 20 season this year?
Yeah, that was definitely like a challenge. I think I am, you know, I do like talking and things like that, but then finding a way to get it across to a group of people is then a harder thing to put on top of that, because, you know, I haven't had much experience with it. So then putting it into practice was really useful for me. And then, sorry, what was the next bit?
And kind of what are the hopes for the 20 side this year going into this season?
I think this year there's been a massive change up with the 20s. So we've obviously got a new coach, Lou Meadows, and a new S&C staff, and all that coming along. And because of, I think there's only maybe 6 or 7 of us that were from last season that are still young enough to be in this season as well. So there's a whole new group of players. So it is just going to be massive change. And we had a camp, like say, a few weekends ago, and that was really good, just getting us all involved. We really built close as a team. And I think obviously we didn't beat France last year, and that's always a massive thing. So that, for us few that have stayed here, that's a massive driving factor. But also for the new guys coming in, that's also something that they want to think, oh yeah, let's actually make a change.
And finally, this is 2 questions I want to ask it separately. So, what are kind of your hopes for yourself personally for the rest of this season? Obviously, with 20s, with Chiefs, and just developing yourself as a player.
I think I sort of just want to get more comfortable with where I am. I think finally I'm sort of in a place where, well, as a player, you always want more, and you sort of want to get to the next thing, and it's actually realizing where you are at the moment is probably the best thing for you. So I think just sort of developing in the place I am, hoping to hold on to the 7-shirted Chiefs, even though obviously it's really competitive, and then stick in with that. Yeah. Sorry, what was the next bit?
And then, kind of, what would it be? Your hopes for Chiefs, and what your kind of aims and aspirations for Chiefs this season?
Oh, we want to win, you know, hands down, and everyone will say that, and it's like that feeling we've got that we know we can get to that place. So that's ultimately what we want to do. But I think for sort of people like myself and Nancy, it's just getting that more, I feel, sort of game time in you, more security within the team, like learning on the go. That's the main thing. But yeah, we want to win the league, and hopefully, you know, we can, but whatever comes with it, we're going to take week by week.
Perfect. So thank you so much for taking your time and chatting to us today, and best of luck for the rest of the season for Exeter and for England 20s as well.
Thank you very much.